Hey there, fellow LARPers, and welcome back to the Adventurer's Dispatch, your weekly source for LARP news, live-action role-playing events, immersive experiences, and upcoming LARP registrations. I'm Steven, your undaunted role player, and if you're new here, or if you want a quick refresher, check out last week's pilot episode, where we went back to basics and asked the big question, what is a LARP anyway? Now, once you've discovered live-action role-playing games exist, once you've seen a LARP that makes your imagination light up and your calendar panic just a little, your next question is always usually going to be the same. What do I do now? That's exactly what this show is here for. This week we're moving forward, and I'm generally glad that you're here with me. Before we dive in, a quick bit of level setting. The Adventurer's Dispatch exists to help you stay on top of what's actually happening in the LARP world right now. The new events, open registration, waitlist movements, immersive theater updates, and convention news that fills fast, shifts quietly, or rewards people who are paying attention. So let's stop circling the map and let's jump into our dream world. Let's get into the news. Let's start with Intercon, because this one affects a lot of people. This week, Intercon officially pushed its full schedule live, and with it came a meaningful change of how signups work. Instead of first come, first served chaos, the convention is using a queue-based signup system designed to smooth out the process and reduce that refresh anxiety. If you're unfamiliar, Intercon is a LARP convention. Dozens upon dozens of mostly short-form LARPs running across a long weekend, all scheduled into time slots. You can play multiple games, meet designers, and sample a huge range of styles in one place. Here's why this is news now. The schedule being live means you can see what games exist, what genres are represented, which ones are already filling. Intercon has also made it clear the new games can still be added, so checking back and staying on their mailing list actually matters. Intercon runs February 26th through March 1st, 2026 in Warwick, Rhode Island. If you're attending, this is the moment to start planning rather than just reacting. Next up, and this is very much actionable, Conscience. Conscience is a Westworld-inspired LARP set in a purpose-built Western town in Montana, exploring themes of identity, autonomy, and what it means to be human. Players take on roles as guests, staff, or androids inside a tightly controlled narrative environment. This week, the organizers explicitly reiterated that the waitlist is open and, crucially, that drops are common. The last part is important. It means the waitlist is not a dead end, it's the mechanism. If roles are opening, as you've heard, this is how they're filled. Conscience is running 2 weekends in 2026, June 26th through 28th and July 3rd through 5th at Yellowstone Film Ranch. If this game is even vaguely on your radar, being on the waitlist now is the correct move. And they strongly recommend joining Discord and their Facebook group, because that's where role movement gets announced first. Now let's talk about Phantom Peak. It has been confirmed that The Great Undoing, its next major story arc, begins February 6, 2026, and will be the final season at the Canada Water location in London. Importantly, Phantom Peak is still fully open for booking. This is not an abrupt closure, but the producers have been very clear. The experience is leaving this site, and future news about what comes next is promised in the coming year. If you've never been, Phantom Peak is a fun, open-world, immersive town. Steampunk-flavored, character-dense, and deeply layered. You wander, you talk, you investigate, and the story unfolds based on what you engage with. Why this matters this week? This season is named, dated, and framed explicitly as a final chapter for this location. So if seeing Phantom Peak here matters to you, this is the window. And now a quick but meaningful update from the immersive adjacent world of Scum and Villainy Rendezvous. This week it was reported that Virtual Cantina Network has joined the founding fleet as an investor in the Rendezvous project. That kind of investment news usually doesn't land unless there's forward motion behind the scenes. Scum and Villainy isn't a LARP, it's a sci-fi themed cantina and social hub. But it sits right at the intersection of immersive environments, costuming culture, and community gathering. Historically, when projects like this gain financial backing, it precedes announcements about expansion, programming, or new experiences. If you care about the broader immersive ecosystem, this is one to keep an eye on. Oh, and it looks like it's also accepting small-time investors as well, so check it out. Now for something that's moving in a quieter way. Illyrian Tales confirmed that their next evolution of Odysseus, titled Odysseus First Light, is targeting crowdfunding in early spring 2026, with the first runs planned for autumn 2026 in Finland. Odysseus, if you're unfamiliar, is a large-scale Nordic-style space drama LARP that has previously run to significant acclaim. This next phase is intended to turn it into a more ongoing project rather than a one-off event. Why this is news now? Crowdfunding phases are when interest becomes action. If you want in, this is the moment to get on Illyrian Tales' mailing list, not after the campaign launches. ConQuest of Mythodea has opened artist applications for 2026, announced earlier this year. ConQuest is one of the largest fantasy LARPs in the world, and this specific announcement matters for performers, artisans, and creators who want to participate on that side of the experience. If that's you, this isn't someday information, this is now. Zooming out for a moment, a couple of meta notes that affect how you track LARP news. Some long-standing hubs like larping.org are temporarily offline or under maintenance, which means relying on a single site is increasingly risky. Organizers are clearly pushing people toward official mailing lists and first-party announcements rather than relying on social media alone. The takeaway, if you care about getting in early, newsletters and calendars matter more than ever. Before we wrap up the news, a few concrete calendar items pulled directly from live event listings. Several Alliance LARP chapters already have January and February 2026 weekends published, including seasonal closers and winter events across multiple regions. Refuge LARP has January 2026 events posted across its network with regional variations. And Helicon, run by Narrators Inc., has back-to-back runs scheduled for early January and late February 2026. It's useful if you're looking for something short-term and emotionally intense earlier in the year. The point of these past few segments isn't to overwhelm, it's to remind you that opportunities don't all open up at once and they don't all announce themselves loudly. And finally, a quick look at immersive experiences that have movement. First, a notable update out of London. Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, the Immersive Experience, will close its current run on January 31st, 2026, but this isn't a permanent goodbye. The producers have already confirmed it will return later in the spring in a newly transformed version. If you're not familiar, this experience is based on Jeff Wayne's classic sci-fi rock opera adaptation of War of the Worlds. The immersive version turns that into a large walkthrough production with live performers, large-scale sets, sound design, and VR elements, essentially dropping you into the Martian invasion as it unfolds. If the current version's been on your list, there's now a clear deadline. Also in London, Punchdrunk's Lander 23 continues booking through March 29th, 2026. This one comes from the creators of Sleep No More, but it's less about narrative and more about atmosphere. Lander 23 is a free-roaming immersive installation inspired by space exploration and isolation. You move through the environment at your own pace, letting mood and design do the storytelling. It's a good fit if you enjoy immersive work that's contemplative rather than plot-driven. And now, looking ahead, this is exciting. Meow Wolf has officially confirmed its New York City location at Pier 17 in the Seaport, with a coming soon page now live and a newsletter sign-up page open. Meow Wolf creates massive, surreal walkthrough worlds filled with interactive art, hidden spaces, and loose narrative threads you uncover by exploring. It's not a LARP, but if you love immersion, discovery, and story you find by wandering, this is very much in the same orbit, and one to keep an eye on as opening details roll out. And now it's time for this week's Adventurer's Dispatch feature, how to prepare for your next LARP. So last week we talked about what a LARP is, and if you haven't watched that episode yet, I really do recommend circling back and giving it a look because it sets a foundation. But this week, we're assuming something important has already happened. You've found a LARP that interests you. Maybe it's a blockbuster in a castle, maybe it's a small Nordic chamber game, maybe it's a campaign weekend 2 states away. You're intrigued, you're excited, and you might be thinking, okay, now what? Let's walk through that together. Step 1, read everything. Yes, everything. And get a journal. I know, it sounds obvious, but it's generally the most skipped step and the one that causes the most stress later. Read the website, read the player guide, read the rules documentation, read the FAQ, read the emails. According to LARPing.org, most problems at events don't come from bad intentions, they come from mismatched expectations. Knowing the tone, themes, safety mechanics, and expectations up front lets you show up ready instead of scrambling. Oh, and get yourself a nice small journal that you can dedicate to the LARP. Put in your questions as you go, important facts about your character, maybe some journaling as the character. Personally, what I like to do is choose goals for each day based on my characteristics and personality. If my character needs to be popular, I might dedicate a page of the journal for the first night to fill out the friends that I made that day, the relationships I've garnered. That way I can concentrate on my goals for the day and not dwell in, okay, what should I do now tomorrow? My character has already 3 or 4 goals to accomplish. If my character is supposed to get people to help accomplish something specific, I might dedicate a section to people I trust to help one night, and then the next night, people I asked today to help me. I take the time out each night after the LARP to fill these questions out, to see where my play might take me on the next day. Step 2, understand the type of LARP you're attending. Not all LARPs ask the same things of you. A Nordic-style chamber LARP may expect emotional vulnerability and stillness. A blockbuster LARP may involve physical movement, logistics, and long days. A campaign LARP may require system mastery and gear continuity. Ask yourself, is this combat heavy or story heavy? Indoor or outdoor? Physically demanding or emotionally demanding, or both? Matching your expectations to the game's design is an act of kindness to yourself. Step 3, build a character you can actually sustain. This one's important. A great character isn't the most complicated one, it's the one you can play all weekend without burning out. As veteran LARP designer and author of Leaving Mundania Inside the Transformative World of Live-Action Role-Playing Games, Lizzie Stark once wrote, a playable character is one whose emotional range fits the container of the game. Give your character clear motivations, flexible goals, and emotional space to react to others. You don't need a 12-page backstory, you need reasons to engage. Another great idea is to take a look at whom the event planners connect your character to in terms of history and story. Try to contact those people. A good way is through the Discord channels that get set up. I know it can be intimidating to talk to strangers about your character at first, but I've done it both ways, speaking pre-game to other LARPers I'll be closely playing with, and not speaking to them until the day of. Most event planners will allow time to foster connections pre-game on that first day, but I have to say, the experiences have been so much richer when I've discussed how characters are connected, how stories intertwined, and where we want to take our characters before the event via Zoom or Discord. as opposed to the 5 or 10 minutes you have to scramble together on site. Step 4. Prep your costume for reality, not photos. Ah yes, the eternal struggle between looking good and being comfortable. Your costume should allow you to move, keep you warm or cool, survive sitting, walking, and eating and working in real weather. Layering is your friend. Good shoes are sacred. And the folks at larpbook.com wisely note, the best costume is the one you forget you're wearing. Step 5. Pack for the game and for your body. Beyond costume, think about you. Bring water, snacks, any medications you might need, varying weather backups, socks, always more socks than you might think you need. Cold games burn calories, hot games drain hydration. Prepared players stay immersed longer. Step 6. Know the safety tools and use them. Modern LARP is built on consent and safety, and that's a good thing. Learn the game's tools, safe words, check-ins, calibration gestures, opt-out mechanics. Using safety tools doesn't break immersion, it protects it. As Nordic LARP scholar Johanna Kolkionen puts it, safety is what allows us to go deeper. Step 7. Arrive open, not perfect. You don't need to be good at LARP to enjoy a LARP. You need to be present, curious, responsive. Some of the best moments happen when plans fall apart. Leave room for surprise. Step 8. Take care of your energy. Once the game begins, rest when you need to. Step out when necessary. Eat actual meals. Burnout helps no one, especially your character. A rested player is a generous player. Step 9. Say yes when it's safe to do so. Within your boundaries, say yes to invitations, scenes, conversations, unexpected turns. LARP rewards engagement. You don't have to chase plot. Often plot finds you. Step 10. Debrief and let it settle. When the game ends, don't rush the landing. Debrief with friends. Journal if that helps. Take a walk. Strong experiences echo. That's normal. As many communities say, the game may end, but the feelings take their time. Give yourself that time. Along these lines, some things to prepare for before LARP even begins are what people call LARP drop and LARP bleed. As for LARP drop, after an intense game, especially one with strong emotions or close relationships, it's not unusual to feel low or to have emotional whiplash once it's over and real life kicks back in. Not everyone experiences it, but knowing it's a possibility helps ahead of time. Plan a soft landing. Give yourself a day or two to decompress. Check in with fellow players, and don't schedule anything emotionally heavy immediately afterward. LARP bleed is when emotions from your character linger with you as a player, shading your reactions to situations or other people days after the LARP is finished. Awareness of this can help you see it while it's happening. Instead of something frustrating, it can be a good memory of the character you spent so much time with. Give yourself a break when you see this happening. Tell others who'd understand about it, or meditate on the differences between the way you'd handle situations and the way your character would. Realize that you might actually be going through a little bit of grief at this point. You're going to have to say goodbye, or at least see you later, to someone who's become a good friend, your character. Knowing this ahead of time doesn't make LARP less immersive. It makes it healthier, safer, and more sustainable. So remember, preparing for a LARP isn't about doing everything right. It's about setting yourself up to be present, safe, and open, so the story can meet you halfway. That's it for this week's dispatch. Whether you're packing up for your first event or your 50th, I hope something here helped you step into your next story with confidence and maybe a little less stress. Next week, we'll be back with more headlines, more global news, more immersive worlds, and another deep dive into this strange, wonderful hobby we all seem to love. Until then, farewell and onward into your story.